Here back with another live stream, and we have Justin with us today. Justin's coming from Chicago. He went to a convention in Chicago, and he's going to talk to us all about that. So the first thing first, housekeeping. Let us know if everything sounds okay, if the video is okay. We are having some issues again. I was having some issues again, I should say. Just getting everything set up. For whatever reason, I guess when I leave and take all my stuff apart and put it back together, it just doesn't want to work the right way. So hopefully everything is okay. But you please let us know so we can make sure you guys can hear and see us. So Justin, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going, man?
All right, happy here in the Chicago area. I flew Delta from Philadelphia, booked a night with Hyatt beforehand after a trip to Atlantic City. So very good customer service with Delta, some Centurion Lounge and Sky Club action. It might be the only time I've ever skipped a Hyatt breakfast in favor of the airport lounges this time around.
Wow. So what was so good
Yes.
about it? Talk to us.
Well, the Hyatt breakfasts were starting a little bit late, and I figured to get to the airport a little early so I can just have breakfast in the Centurion Lounge in the Sky Club for stream purposes, of course, just to see the breakfast there. I've never
Uh-huh.
done that before, but it was good. I could be like a hobbit in real life having a second breakfast, but I
Cool.
didn't overdo it, I'll assure you.
Good, cool. All right, so it looks
Lots of
like
free food opportunities, that's for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
so connected from Raleigh. I intentionally had a 2 hour layover in Raleigh instead of picking one that was a 45-minute layover and rushing in between the flights. So I got to enjoy the Delta Sky Club there in Raleigh as well. So it was
Okay.
a really nice trip, pretty straightforward getting the rental car from O'Hare Airport to Hyatt Place, which conveniently had an Olive Garden right across the street. So I've been
Okay.
continuing the pasta pass journey here.
Okay, so tell us about this pasta I didn't even know this existed. I'm not a huge Olive Garden fan. I mean, I go there every once in a while, but
Me neither.
uh,
Me neither.
how long does this last, and what is it?
Yeah, so it was $100 for 9 weeks of all you can eat at Olive Garden,
Oh
which
wow.
gives you a never-ending pasta bowl. Many locations have been really nice to give me zucchini noodles. So I have the pasta with the sauce and the topping. I always pick veggies. And then I get soup or salad and breadsticks. And they've been so kind to even give me free takeout so I can share with all the friendly cashiers and casino employees of the world and
Oh,
friends too.
okay. And you get to use it once a day, or how does that work?
Oh, it's unlimited. I can go as many
Oh
times as I would
wow.
like.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
For a
So
hundred
especially
bucks.
$100, yeah, especially being on the road so much and traveling, it saved quite a lot of money. Hopefully, I won't gain much weight after this, but we'll have to compensate for some extra time at the gym,
Wow,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
that is a pretty good deal. I mean, now when they open this up, is it just for a certain period of time? I know you said 9 weeks, but can I get it
Right.
like right now and have 9 weeks out, or is it only?
No, no, it
Yeah.
went live at noon on a certain day and it sold out in seconds.
Oh
I had
wow,
my laptop and multiple phones ready to buy it, and I got through on one device.
okay, okay. So it's that competitive. Wow, I had no
Oh, it's
idea.
competitive.
Wow.
Otherwise, what? I'm going and spending like $5 to $10 at Chili's or Panera or some other random place on the road. Olive Gardens are everywhere, so it's been great money savings and sharing the wealth with others.
Wow. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Please, if you guys can, hit the like button so we can bring some more people in, and let me know you're here just by saying what's up. Give us a thumbs up. Give us something so we can give you a shout out. We're gonna do shout outs in a minute. But yeah. So you get to Chicago, and we'll talk. We're gonna talk a little bit about the whole experience with the seminar, and you
Yeah.
can talk with us about some of the stuff that you learned. But before we do that, I do want to do some shout outs. And so we'll go ahead and do those right now. We have a little bit of time here. All right, Braveheart, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. We got Justin in the
Brave heart.
building. Mr. Chocolatazo, what's going on? Explore Informed, what's going on? Vivian, good to see you. Jessica, how you doing? Let's see. Too cool, what's going on, buddy?
Janelle.
Where's Janelle? Did I miss her? Oh, she must be down
Janelle's in
below.
there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is.
Leone.
All right. How to get an 800 credit score? What's going on, Lyndon? And yeah, Janelle's here. Who else is in the building? David, what's going on, buddy? And let's see who else.
Lore informed.
Yeah, Exploring Foreign World Walker. What's going on, buddy?
Cool.
Who else is here? Who else is here? So, guys, let us know you're here. Just give us a thumbs up, give us a happy face, give us something so we can give you a shout out. Nate and Jess, what's going on? What's going on, guys? And what is this? Tech. I can't read that whole thing. Something Diva 2011.
Can't read it. There's no words on it.
No, it's just small print. My eyes are. You got to write in all caps there, Tech. Champ, what's going on? Bruce, what's going on? All right, so that rounds out everyone's in the building. So, guys, like I said, if you guys have questions about what. Okay, Justin, explain to us where you went, and then we'll put out the questions too. So just listen up.
Sure. Oh, well, there's still some more. So before I even got to the host hotel for the conference, I went to a local grocery store, Meijer, and conveniently inside of Meijer was a U.S. bank location. So I inquired with the banker there and told him that I would like a checking account. I've been eyeing the Altitude Reserve card for several months now, but I've been unable to get it because U.S. Bank told me you can't open an account because you don't have a local branch. So I figure asking around would be a very good approach. The phone rep said no.
So you can't get a credit card? You want to get the Altitude credit card, right?
That's right. Yes.
But you have to have a U.S. Bank account, is what they're saying.
You have to have an existing relationship with U.S. Bank. So they said that a checking account, a boat loan, credit card, other things could be an option. So I figured the checking account was the best option rather than applying for one card and then having to wait and possibly being denied for a second card, as I've seen a lot of people having difficulties getting multiple cards with U.S. Bank, and they're more inquiry sensitive. Okay.
So what happened at U.S. Bank? Were you able to get one? Or?
Oh, yeah. The manager said, I don't know. I've never heard that before, that you had to have the local branch and we can put in your application today. And there was some back and forth where I said, well, I don't want to put in the application unless you give me assurance that I'd be approved, that this being out of the area wouldn't be a difficult thing. And he said that shouldn't be a problem. He ran it and I got approved. I got my wonderful bulky folder of disclosures here.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. And approved for the checking account. So looking very much forward to applying for the Altitude Reserve card in January, as it's been on the top of my list for a while.
Okay. Did you give him any hints that you wanted to get a credit card, or you didn't go that route?
Yeah, I was very transparent with him.
Oh, okay.
He said, why U.S. Bank? And of course, I told him great customer services. I've heard of that before, and some of the card products, indeed. And hey, Darren in the chat, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, Darren?
Another U.S. Bank fan.
Oh, yeah. So that's cool. So you're able to get that. So what are your plans as far as getting an Altitude card? Are you going to wait a little bit, or are you knowing you're probably going to jump on it as soon as possible?
Waiting until January, 6 months. Oh, sorry, it cut out. What was that?
I said knowing you're probably going to jump on it as soon as possible, but it looks like you will wait till January.
No, that would not be good at all, because I've heard a lot of people say that they're more inquiry sensitive. I'm waiting more time to get it, and I'm also waiting on another card that I'm going to apply for on the same day as the plan. So they're also inquiry sensitive too. So we'll see what happens once the ball drops.
What's that
2nd.
other card?
Oh, it's the MGM MasterCard with the First National Bank of Omaha, as this is going to be very good for my situation since I'm in Atlantic City. So it has multipliers, it has a nice sign-up bonus, and I can get casino status without having to dump money at blackjack, baccarat, and other games. So I'm really excited for that.
But you have status with the Hyatt, right? Didn't you do the?
Oh, I have gold status with MGM, but I want platinum, and maybe they'll invite me to be Noir. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
All right.
Shout out to Mavis at Borgata and many other friendly staff who, and very sad that I can't get the card. They said, "Oh, I've never heard of that before." Well, yeah, a lot of people are applying for multiple credit cards, so maybe that's why not. Okay, so this
MGM card, is there an annual fee with the card, or how does that one work?
No annual fee. It's a 100 comp sign-up bonus, and usually they're throwing in something extra. If you get it today, you get an extra 50 in comps, and I've seen email offers for a free night that go along with the card as well. I wouldn't recommend the card for most people unless you're
Mm,
putting in a pretty high volume and you're going to the casino. You're there very often because yes, you can status match from Hilton Diamond to Wyndham Diamond, match from Wyndham Diamond to Caesar's Diamond, match from Caesar's Diamond to Borgata.
yeah.
So you
Okay.
can get Borgata Gold, but that might not last forever. I don't know
Yeah.
how long the status rematching and matching might go on for. So I'd rather get it through another method.
Okay. But in the world of Hyatt too, you can transfer, right? Or you can match.
Oh,
Or you,
yeah, you can Explorist matches to gold as well, but the
mm.
Explorer status probably won't last forever.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
sure if status matching is going to be allowed to rematch because I've done the initial. We'll have to see what
I
happens, but
got
I'm
you.
not holding out. That would be sad to lose it altogether.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're in Chicago. You went to the grocery store. Okay, so let's.
Yeah, yeah.
You got
Some bank
your
tourism.
U.S. bank checking account, and now where do we go from there?
Went to Olive Garden,
Okay,
of course.
past Olive
Had my
Garden, you get to the seminar. Let's talk about the seminar.
Yeah, yeah. I had a really wonderful experience with it. So many people were friendly, approachable, knowledgeable, happy, sharing their stories and what they've done. Just
Hmm.
you walk in and these people are wearing badges and you're talking miles and points where
Yeah,
everyday life you're just not doing that.
yeah.
People just aren't playing this game. They don't know much about the credit cards and
They think we're
just find some
weird.
like-minded.
Let's just face
Oh,
it.
they think we're absolutely crazy. Yeah, yeah,
We're insane. We have more
absolutely.
than one credit card.
Yeah,
We're evil.
oh, you're going to go bankrupt. You're going to go into debt.
Yeah,
Dave Ramsey told me so that credit cards are evil.
yeah.
That's the basics. Yeah.
So, no, what was the structure? So you go in. I'm sure they had different classes. Was it like breakout sessions, or was it just one room where they had the topic of the day or the topic of the hour?
Yeah, it varied. So there were breakout sessions where you can choose to learn about certain loyalty programs like Hyatt, Hilton, IHG for all those Spire elites in the audience, airline programs. And there were different topics like new to the game. If you wanted to learn about hotels in general, if you wanted to learn about different they're talking about different clubs that you can join in different communities, lots of different topics. There's a Disney panel, so something I think for everyone.
Oh, okay, okay. So, what did you learn? What was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I think it's really important to reflect on really thinking about our time and how we're using it. As there's all this talk about status and I want this, I want that, but we have to consider if it's really worth it to chase all this stuff. Like some people were talking about going to hotels and staying all of these nights, but not really caring to do it, but they just wanted the status. And some have said that they found that pretty miserable, that they thought that they would get a lot out of the status,
Mm,
but then they end up spending all this time and it ended up not being worth it. So it really pays to be intentional, as they're saying, to really think about what we're doing rather than just get caught up in things.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
Richard Kerr from previously from Award Travel
yeah. I know
101.
him.
Yeah, he was talking about avoiding groupthink. That it's very often the case that people will just fall into this one camp of, oh, this is a great thing to do. This is a great card, or they'll just go on one point that someone said and run with it and make irrational decisions because of that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the funny it's funny that you brought that up about staying at a hotel just to get the status. Right now, I'm at 22 nights at Hyatt. I need 30 in order to stay at Explorers, so I, I just might be staying a couple extra days there because I don't have any other trips that are planned right now. But yeah, I might. I'm at a point. I'm looking at the numbers, and it could make sense for me to do.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying seven. Well, I'm saying seven only because I have a free night that's going to expire on the 31st of this month, so I have to use that one. So that'll be one, and then I'll do seven more probably by the end of the year. I'm gonna make it make sense, but yeah, I've done that
Yeah,
before.
you have to really sit back and think about it. Just
Yeah.
because like one person and one blogger said, "Oh, this status is really valuable," well, think,
Mhm.
what am I going to get out of it? What do I have to do to get that? There are
Yeah.
definite opportunity costs. Like if you're going to go say book a room and not even stay in the hotel and mess up the bed a little bit and just walk away to get the status. Like, really, you're gonna
That's yeah.
turn in all these points, and it could be worth it as you're closer to it. But
Yeah.
yes, what's the trade-off? It's something to think about.
Yeah, you definitely need to look at that because I did that before initially, like way back when I first started with Hyatt. I knew I was going to be going to Paris and I was going to be staying at Hyatt there, and I wanted to get status prior to getting there, and so I did some mattress runs. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing the points plus
Did you mess up
cash.
the bed?
No, I was
Did you
actually
mess up the
staying
bed?
there.
Just
I would stay there. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay, all
yeah.
right.
I
Well,
would.
maybe that's
Yeah, but
mattress run.
it got a little ridiculous where on the weekend I would go. I have 3 days off every week. So I would go one night and stay at one hotel, like a Hyatt place usually, and then go to another Hyatt place and then go to another Hyatt place. So three different Hyatt places because back then it was a stay or a night equal to stay, but you had to check out. So I would go to three different ones. That way I would get three nights. And I was doing points plus cash, so it was allowing me to do it for I was like roughly God, what was points plus cash back then? 2,500 4,000. I think it was 4,000 points plus cash or something like that. So that's what I was doing. But I'm gonna tell you, once I hit globalist status, I didn't really see the benefit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh,
I didn't. To me, Explorers and Globalists are you're pretty much getting the same thing. You get a little bit more with Globalists. They will tell you, okay, you're gonna get the club access. Well, that's great, but if you have Explorer status, you're gonna get four of those, like four passes to the club access.
and if they have a club.
Yeah, if they have a club. So I just saw Explorers is kind of that sweet spot where you can get in there. You're still going to get a lot of the same benefits. You're still going to get upgraded. They tell you, oh, we'll upgrade you to the best available room, but not a suite when you're in Explorers. But realistically, they upgrade you to suites. Like I was in Hawaii, and they upgraded me to a suite. So they do it at Explorers
Mhm.
level, even though they don't talk
Yeah,
about that.
and what's the real value in that anyway? I mean, if I have a great room in a Hyatt house or a Hyatt place, I'm pretty happy with the nice bed that I have, lots of
Yeah.
area, the random flower painting that you could see in the background, and that's okay for me. I mean, it's nice to
Yeah.
have the extra stuff, but
Yeah.
how much do I have to spend to actually get that? Is that really going to be worth it? So
Yeah.
it's going to depend on person to person and what your priorities are. So that's why a lot of talk of, yeah, this is different for your situation. Maybe some people in this situation would want to do this, or this would be valuable to them. So it's really good, as they were saying that sometimes with blogs and affiliates, and I'll even say, okay, start with Chase. And I know I have a Chase referral link, but I'm not only promoting that because I have a link. I
Hmm.
promote a lot of cards I don't have links for, like
Yeah.
the Wells Fargo Business Platinum, the JetBlue Business. I love those cards. I think those are great.
Hmm.
And so you want to look and see and do the research yourself, not
Yeah.
only take
Absolutely.
what one person says, but rather get a lot of different perspectives on things, right? That's very important.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying as far as like referral links and stuff like that. Because yes, you can get caught up as an influencer on YouTube where it's like, oh, I gotta get, I gotta really promote these cards because I want to get the referral links and stuff like that. When that shouldn't be, you should
Mhm.
be promoting the cards that are good cards or that you feel that are good cards. So there are a lot of cards that I promote that I don't have any referral. The card that I don't promote is the card that I get the most referrals on. Believe it or not, it's the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. I do not promote that card.
Yeah.
Um, and usually, if someone asks me what's the best starter card, usually I shy away from that card and I tell them Venture card or United Explorer card if you just want to get started with the Chase ecosystem. But I very rarely promote that card. But that card is the one that I
Mhm.
get referral links on all the time. I think a lot of people are comfortable with, or maybe they've done some other research and they've heard about the card and they come into my channel. I don't know. I don't know how it all works, but I'm I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, it's kind of a weird thing. And some of the cards that I do promote a lot, I don't get any referral links from. The Chase Sapphire Reserve. I can't. I don't have a referral link for that card. So, but I promote the
Yeah.
heck out of that card
It,
because I think it's a good card.
Yeah, it's even led me to keep the preferred because I have the referral link from the preferred and I'm getting UR from that, which will be more value than I would get from the reserve. And the reserve would have to be that $50 annual fee. So, what a contrarian thing because you're always hearing, oh, reserve's the best, reserve's the best. And I'm saying, okay, well, for my situation, the preferred seems to be better.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, so what are some other things that we might be interested in hearing about that you learned at the convention?
Yeah, there's the talk of here community being very important, that it can be very easy to just be a passive observer and not to contribute. You can really miss out because if you're going to be actively participating in online groups and chats, that other people are likely going to connect with you and give you information that can be very valuable. So you can provide value to groups by participating and not just hoping to be spoon fed or just be the passive observer, and that many friendships can be made through the hobby, through these communities, and you never really know what can come up of that. And I think that's really cool because many people I've interacted with online were at the event, and I really valued those interactions. It was also nice to meet some new people and contribute rather than some attitude that people take is I'm never going to share anything, everything's going to be ruined, everything is going to end tomorrow. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's the proper approach to take. Of course, we're not going to just give out like super sensitive information about maybe certain things that could be ruined if it just went to the masses. But I'm generally someone who's pretty open with information and putting that out there. And anyone, don't share this, don't share anything. Be rightly skeptical about that. That's really
Yeah,
different.
yeah. So anybody we know that was there?
Yeah, yeah. From the speakers, you mean,
Yeah,
or people who are there?
people who were there,
Yeah,
maybe people you network with.
frequent miler was there, rapid travel chai, 1 mile at a time,
Okay,
travel fanboy, bougie miles, a lot of familiar names. Richard Kerr, I mentioned,
okay,
was there as
yeah.
well. So lots of people from blogs, podcasts who were attending.
No
Sure.
YouTube influencers that you.
I don't think so, or not people that are primarily known for that.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
Cakeology was not there. We're seeing in the chat there. Rose, Rose May. Yeah, no Cakeology this time around. Yeah.
All right, cool, cool. Yeah, that's cool, man. So what are you gonna take away from this, other than the stuff that you talked about? Anything else that you're gonna take away? And we will, we'll talk a little about your channel and stuff and what direction you want to go with that. But anything that I'm trying to think of best way to say this. Like, what are you gonna take away from the whole experience?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be more enthusiastic coming out of it, which is funny because I'm super enthusiastic about this anyway.
Yes, you
But
are.
just more motivation to get involved, to participate, to give back, and and hopefully educate others.
Yeah.
It was nice in that a lot of people there were new to the event, and some people said, "Well, I heard about credit cards, but I don't really have any travel cards right now. I don't have any premium cards right now, but I wanted to go to this event and find out." And it was really nice that people were happy to answer the questions, and I had many questions too, and there was some uncertainty about some questions that I had. So I guess I'm in a good space if I don't know, and other people are saying they don't know. It's sometimes difficult to figure things out, but when you could put ideas before a group and get some thoughts on that,
Yeah.
that's interesting. And also a reflection I thought was valuable was to look at the past state of things. There was some talk about dead deals, and that in the past there were some really lucrative opportunities and they don't exist anymore. But if we can understand those opportunities, perhaps they'll be similar in the future. We could replicate some of those dead deals and have opportunities if we see some kind of discount, maybe at a grocery store, and stack some apps and portal bonuses and Amex offers or Chase offers, that can be a really good opportunity to take.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we have a question from D-Fish. She just wants to know, as far as the altitude, what are some of the major benefits? Why would you
Yeah.
be interested in getting that
Yeah. So
card?
the altitude has a sign up bonus that's worth about 750. Sorry, it's cutting out.
Okay.
The altitude is a sign up bonus that's worth about 750 for travel. And they have a really wonderful feature. It's the real-time mobile rewards or real-time mobile rewards redemption, where it's my understanding that if you make any purchase that codes as travel, you get a text message on your phone and it takes away from your points balance. And that's really nice because sometimes I'll see cash rates that are really low and I'll want to pay those rather than using points for a stay because it seems that I would be better to pay cash that I can get more value in using the points later. Like
Hmm.
I'm going to Atlantic City almost every week and I'm seeing room rates of 25 or $30. So
Hmm.
instead of using, say, UR to book that, or instead of using Hyatt points and staying at a Hyatt, I'll gladly pay the $25 and just be in Atlantic City. So being able to use the reserve, get the 3x travel, and use the points toward those travel, that gives me options. They
Hmm.
have their own portal too, which offers some really good rates. And it also has the 3x points on all mobile purchases. And these purchases are worth 1.5 cents per point. So I
Hmm.
think that can really add up
Yeah.
for a lot of what I'm doing, a lot of purchases. It's great for non-bonus spend, right? I generally don't promote categories as a reason to get a card or keep a card, although slight exceptions with the Chase Ink Cash and the Amex Personal Gold, for instance. But I think this card has a lot of value with that. And you get an annual travel credit, there's an annual fee, similar to the Reserve. After you use the travel credit, you're only paying a little bit of an annual fee, but I think the returns are there as a keeper card, not only for just a 1 year card. So I think it's really worth it.
Yeah. You get the lounge access. Well, you get what? Oh,
Yeah,
for the first
there's some of
12
that.
months.
There's
Just the
onboard
first 12 months.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And then the global entry, which
Yeah.
is good. Had another good global entry
Mhm.
experience coming into LAX. Just walked right through. You know what? This time I had my camera on, so I recorded a
No
little bit
more
of it.
PF Chang's for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So don't remind me. Actually, it's still good for another 5 days. Mm.
Oh, you're gonna go on a mileage runner mattress
Yeah,
run for that
maybe I
long
should
there?
just get in there and
It-
just so I can have my last meal there.
yeah, the Last Supper, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get the pasta pass. So it'll be all right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I might
but
do that.
it was also inspiring.
Go ahead.
It was also inspiring to hear a lot of people talking about how miles and points have really changed their life. You know, you get the haters, you get the skeptical people of like, oh, this isn't worth it. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the time. But there were some people talking about how they had family member that was on the opposite side of the country, that because of miles and points, they were able to fly them and family members to see the family member in their last days when there was some sort of
Absolutely.
medical emergency
Yeah.
or they were dying. And they said, well, the points and miles, they might not last forever, but the memories certainly do.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's crazy because that's one of the biggest benefits of points and miles, I think, is the fact that you can fly somewhere at a moment's notice. You don't have to like plan ahead and you can still get the same deals. Like I was still up until the last couple of days, I was still planning on going to Chicago to meet up with Justin and go to the conference. But I had too much stuff going on. But I did check just to see, okay, is it still available? I was going to fly on American Airlines. I still have like 18,000 points. I was going to do a one way ticket to Chicago and then come back on United, and it was still available. So if I wanted to book, and it was a day before, so if I wanted to book a day before, I still could do that using points and miles. I mean, obviously you can pay cash to do that, but you're going to pay a lot of money if it's a last minute booking. But with points, you can be. I mean, as long as there's reward seats available, you're able to do it. So I think that's a real good thing about points and
Yeah.
miles. But just like what you're saying, like if there's a situation where, God forbid, something serious happens in the family and you don't really have the funds to do anything to get there, then you can look at points, and points can be an option for you to get there and stay in a hotel and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's good. So how is this Hyatt place, man? Was it
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
it good?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, free breakfast as usual was pretty good. They had a big oatmeal bar, cereal, almond milk. I've seen that at a lot of Hyatt places. It's nice to
Okay.
see. Bagels and hot food, including eggs, bacon, potatoes. So that's fine for me. Some
Yeah.
fruit, apples, bananas. So getting those free breakfasts every day is really nice. The room quality is good. The HVAC is good.
Hmm.
Lots of space. Even a sofa here.
Yeah.
with the two beds. For some reason, the king bed wasn't available, so I have two queens,
Okay.
but
No bunk beds, so you're
that's
good.
fine. And very, very close to the venue. It's only about a 10-15 minute drive. So
Okay.
instead of paying the cash rate and staying at the Holiday Inn, I decided to stay at Hyatt. That was just a short drive away.
Yeah. And you know the funny thing is, you're staying at Hyatt Place. I've stayed at plenty of Hyatt Place hotels and Hyatt House, and I like the setup. I like the breakfast. It's pretty much the standard. Everything that Justin was saying is pretty much my experience too. Every time I stay at a Hyatt Place, I stayed at the Grand Hyatt. You guys all know, and I was in Bogota. It's a higher end
Hmm.
hotel. I had the club lounge access, so I was able to go up to the club lounge and eat breakfast. The breakfast at Hyatt Place was better than the breakfast spread that they had at the club lounge access. So the reason that I'm saying this is, and we talked about this, or I talked a little bit about this earlier about the whole being a globalist compared to being an explorer, and all that good stuff. Well, that was one of the things. I became a globalist. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to have all these different benefits. Well, you don't need to be a globalist to stay at a Hyatt Place. They're not going to upgrade you to. There's no suites in Hyatt Place like a nice presidential suite or anything like that. So you pretty much get a standard room, which is nice size room, but you get free breakfast everywhere you go, or every Hyatt Place that you stay at, and the meal was better. I prefer a Hyatt Place meal over the meal that I was getting at the Grand Hyatt. So just things like that you kind of learn, and you might think, okay, well, yeah, I need to get to Globalist. You don't really need to get to Globalist. Only if you want to stay in some of those high end hotels and you want to get that club access every time. But I think
Yeah.
Hyatt Place is very suitable for most situations.
Yeah, and there's real opportunity cost in it too, where some people will talk about putting a certain amount of spend on a card to get there. But if you can get more value in signing up for multiple cards and getting multiple sign up bonuses, that could be a better approach too. Because the standard way, you like we were talking about before, is a lot of people only maybe have one or two credit cards and they're just leaving a lot of money on the table. And at this
Mm.
conference, I saw people from all walks of life, people who owned businesses, attorneys, some doctors, and then just like average people working maybe like lower middle class jobs. And they were talking about, I never would have been able to do this. It just would have been way too expensive. But now through this, I have freedom, I have power, and something that I never thought I would have done. There was talk about, well, I only thought that miles and point, or sorry, I only thought that these great flights and hotel stays were just for the rich and famous and privileged people, whatever. But now I'm able to do all of this that other people can only dream of. So there's just so much potential in this hobby, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth here. Okay, let's see if you guys have any questions. Please put them in the chat, and we'll start going over some questions right now. So if you have any questions for Justin, please put it out there. And Justin, tell us a little bit about your channels. I don't. Do you have two YouTube channels now, or you've changed
Yeah,
one?
thanks.
Go ahead.
I recently started the Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast. I have 3 episodes so far. This came about as a lot of people were asking me questions about credit cards, the hobby. I post on social media about my travels, and they asked me, "How do you do this? I'd like to do what you would do." And I would answer a lot of the same questions. So I decided to start a podcast and answer a lot of these questions, have some guests, including Darren, who's in the chat now. He says, what is it here? You could lead a horse to the airport, but you can't make him get on the plane, right? So not all people will have the motivation to do some of this stuff, but I think it's accessible for everyone. It doesn't require this huge volume of spend. You can take a conservative approach and just get a few cards. There's something that everyone can do here. So that's what I'm hoping to spread in the podcast. And I also want to talk about some topics that people aren't focusing on. Like I've mentioned in the first stream that we did, the My Vegas apps, auto spin to win
Oh
for real life
God, here
rewards,
we
of
go.
course, and some casino and gambling crossover along with that, and some of those unpopular cards that people really aren't talking about. Some trip
Mm.
reports, my experiences, and just some general travel discussion.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
So now, are you? So do you have your separate podcast and you have the YouTube channel? Are you doing? Are you doing the podcast? Are you doing the YouTube like video, and then that podcast becomes the video. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You do a
I
video and
have
then
so
make it a
far
podcast. There you go.
just yeah, I've so far just had the audio and then put it on YouTube without
Got it.
any real video component.
Oh,
But in
okay, I
the
got you.
future, I want to do a video for my Vegas. I want to show the footage of me playing the 4 games at one time on my desktop. So that will be
Okay.
mandatory. Otherwise, it's just very difficult to just talk about it. It'll help to have a visual component.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, Julio. Let's see. Everybody at work knows I'm broke, but okay. So you're just making a statement there, Julio.
Oh,
So yeah, guys. Any questions? Just go ahead and put it at
I see.
Justin. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see here, Nate and Jess. What do you think about the IHG card? I don't find much value in IHG properties. I'd rather use points for Hilton and Hyatt, and I think that I would pick a different card for Chase instead. I think they're just stronger Chase cards, so I would not go for the IHG card. I just don't see the value in it. I haven't stayed at IHG properties. I don't plan on it, so not really much going for me on that.
Okay. They already got the IHG card though. So
They
now,
said, "What do you think about the card with the offer that recently expired?" I'm
yeah,
just not a fan.
yeah, I got
Oh,
you.
I could be missing something on it. I wasn't very happy about Marriott either. I transferred my points to United. I did not want to get bond void. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Don't want to deal with that situation.
Okay,
Not in
okay.
that situation.
Oh, I just lost my place
Oh, and
here.
another thing from the conference that was interesting. I know David, the Amex King, will really like this one. Of just 524 maybe not being so valuable. People think they're talking about the opportunity cost of not getting certain cards, especially when there are increased offers or very good personal cards that can be very good for your situation. I'm strongly considering waiting and going under 524, but I'm seeing personal cards like those I mentioned that I want to sign up for. If I were not to get those personal cards, I would be missing out on a lot of value. So maybe 524 isn't as valuable as so many people are talking about. You have to
Hmm.
analyze your personal situation for that.
Yeah, I still think you can, if you start out with Chase. I think you can get the cards that you need right out of the gate and still be under 524, and then just move on into other ecosystems. So if you do start out with other credit cards, then yeah, you might run into some problems if you want to get Chase cards. But I think I mean, and I have a video I put out that pretty much lays out. I think I put that video out already. I think I
Yeah.
did, but it lays out the cards that I get when it comes to Chase, like the different cards that I look for. You can get some of the business cards too if you can qualify for those, and you don't have to really worry about that 524. I agree with Justin. I think it's more of a, it's the whatever, the big bad wolf thing. What people think it's more than what it really is.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I would like to get the cards. I would also like to get under Barclays 624. The 624 isn't always enforced from what I've heard.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens there. But what am I going to have to do? What other projects can I pick up to work on? I'm considering a lot of business cards to apply for, but I'm running out of options.
Mhm.
So we'll see how it goes throughout 2020. I'm getting in such a desperate situation that I'm considering applying for the American Express Plum card just for something else to work on. And we all know that that's one of the worst cards with American Express.
Yeah. So are you just working for sign up bonuses? What are we doing, Justin?
I want
Is
all
there
the cards.
strategy
I
or
want all
what?
the cards. Yeah. All of them that provide value, of course.
Okay.
I'm not so
So,
bullish on like the Amex Business Green, and the
mhm.
Delta Reserve is okay, but I'd rather some of the other ones first, really.
So are you planning on, what is your long-term strategy? Because this is the way I feel about, I can only use so many credit cards in order to continue earning points. I get it. Some of the cards will give you value. If you get some of the hotel branded cards, you can get that free night, so you can at least justify, okay, I pay a $95 annual fee, but I have a free night every year, so I can use that, and it kind of offsets that. But what about some of these other cards that you get that you have so many cards you can't possibly, you only have a certain amount of income every year, right? So you can't possibly use all those cards
They're
unless you're
different
manufacturer
issuers.
spending.
Oh, who's possibly doing that? I don't know,
But
but
I'm just saying, like, what is your long term? Let's
yeah,
say,
financial freedom is really the big goal, and I think this is a big component and reduce my lifestyle expenses if I can get all the cash back and
Mm-hmm.
offers and discounts and bonuses and everything through the cards, I think each credit card is getting me closer on that path.
Okay. But you need to be.
And people,
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead, Justin.
People at the conference were talking about how they've been at every Chicago seminars or most of them,
Uh-huh.
or they're saying I was in here. I've been in the credit card game for about 10 years, and I'm still finding new cards to sign up for. They're getting the Banco Popular Buena Vista de Puerto Rico, and they're getting some of these new cards like the Rakuten Ebates card, and like new Bank of America, and
Yeah.
even Chase and Amex are releasing the BBC, the Blue Business Cash, right? And
Uh,
different products that are coming out. Like new cards keep coming out. So they're in a Pokemon attitude of gotta catch them all. And like, yeah, as long as you can organize it all, be
yeah.
responsible, be disciplined, right? You should be
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah.
Plum. You like the Banco Popular,
Yeah.
Buena Vista de Puerto Rico?
That's just funny to me.
I
Wow.
just like saying it so much. I really do.
But were they really talking about that? Or you?
Yeah, absolutely. It has a great offer. I know
Oh, does
Darren
it?
in the chat has the card,
Oh,
the
okay.
Banco Popular.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think it's Avianca Life Miles, actually. It's like a $100 annual fee. The sign up bonus is about
Uh,
50,000, 60,000 miles.
yes.
Build your relationships
Yeah, the
with Puerto
Avianca card.
Rico.
I actually want to get that card. I'm interested in it because I go to Colombia a lot, and I flew Avianca this last. Well, I flew every time I go to Colombia. I fly on Avianca, but
I think that might be the
yeah.
same one. I think Avianca is part of the name, but someone in the chat can let me know here. So I
Oh,
haven't considered
okay.
applying for it myself.
Are they
So
Banco
I haven't looked
Popular
into
though?
that too much.
That might even be I don't know.
Deploy
Avianca.
the capital dollars, Darren says. Yeah, it was a really interesting casino story where people were not coming to certain places in Atlantic City. And one of the casino reps says, we haven't reinvested back in the property. So we need to deploy the capital dollars and attract more people to come. So if we have these opportunities and we can make these strategic investments, that's how I see it with the credit cards. People are sweating the $99 annual fees. I can't pay an annual fee. I can't do that. Like, well, I'm happy to pay annual fees if they provide me great value.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely return on my money. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. All right, guys.
Ooh,
Questions.
Chocolato.
Questions. Go ahead.
He says my first bank account was Banco Popular of Puerto Rico. How about that?
Oh man, let's see here. All right. See if we have any questions in the chat. I'm at the very bottom here. Some crazy
I have
bonuses
some
and
other US
purchases and
Bank
miles.
people in the chat. Someone mentioned Flex Perks. I really think their Radisson Rewards card looks very good too, but people have said that they're stricter about approving that. And I had a friend who recently applied for a business card with US Bank and he got declined. So maybe down the road.
Okay. Yeah, and they're talking about Banco Popular. Yeah, there's Banco Popular in Southern California. I've seen them before. So
Oh,
maybe I can go and branch and see if they have any good deals.
oh, maybe an in-branch pre-approved offer.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, I'm always concerned when it comes down to how many cards you get, how do you manage them. I have 8 cards right now, and I'm able to manage those. But I'm just thinking, if I had twice that many, how am I going to be able to utilize each card? So just something that I've been thinking about it. And I know every time I talk about, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait and get a card, Justin always gets on me. Hey, you need to get the card. You need to, you got points. You got points. You're leaving on the table. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I'm
good.
always trying to work on a sign-up bonus or a high spend goal. I'm always
Yeah.
trying to maximize the spend, right? But there is a trade-off, like how much organization, research, mental bandwidth, as I've heard people say.
Yeah.
So for some, maybe there could be that limitation, and they're doing more with their lives. I'm more free now, just doing a lot of this poker play, some travel. So I have some more time on this. I'm willing to put into it, and I find it fun. I find it like
Mm.
a big puzzle, a lot of strategizing, a lot of thinking ahead. It's just like a role playing game in real life in many ways for me. It's like, oh, look, I have a +5 at grocery stores.
Mm.
Take this card out. Right? It's like that in many ways.
Okay. So Darren's saying that let's see, there's an extra 20,000 sub. Or sign up bonus on the Avianca card now, 60,000 versus 40,000. Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, they always give you that little pitch at the when you're on the plane, you're getting ready to land, and they give you the little pitch. I'm listening. I was listening to it. Now they do have. I know they have some good. They have like because Star Alliance, different Star Alliance airlines have the stopover, layover, and that stuff. And I think in the U.S. you can do a stopover, and it's the same region or something like that. So you can do like I could fly to Chicago and then fly from Chicago, do a stopover in Chicago, and then fly to New York, and then fly back to Los Angeles. So they have some interesting stopovers. So it's something that I'm looking into.
Oh, Darren says that the Avianca Banco Popular card is 60,000 miles now instead of the 40,000.
Yeah,
So that's the increased offer.
cool,
You're looking
cool.
pretty good. Tim says if financial freedom is the goal, would one's time be best used increasing income versus bonus hunting? So it's interesting. Like, how much time are you willing to spend doing the research, playing the credit card game versus other income opportunities? It's a good question
Yeah,
because for some, the answer might be they wouldn't want to spend much in this at all. And maybe they're just doing the minimum to hit the sign up bonuses. They're only getting a handful of cards per year because maybe they have other opportunities. But I find this a lot of fun. And
yeah,
this isn't all of my day. Like I'll try to multitask, listening to content, reading things during downtime, collaborating with others. So the time that I spend it really varies. It depends on what deals are going on at the time, where I am, what I'm doing.
hmm
It changes week to week for sure.
and in some situations, the value of using points is just so much greater than using cash. Like it just it makes sense. Like if I'm flying, if I want to, and I like to fly business class or first class whenever possible. So I have opportunities to do things that even if I had, let's say I didn't want to devote all this time to points and miles, and I wanted to devote all that time to a business, and I was making money with that business. Um, I still would not have some of the opportunities that I have with points, and flying a first class flight that's a $6,000 one way flight using points, 70,000 points in order to do that, which I did. That's something that even if I had a business, unless that business is making millions of dollars, I'm probably not going to be spending. Even if it was making millions of dollars, I still wouldn't be. I wouldn't want to spend $6,000 on a flight, on a one way ticket. So I think the value, yeah, it's not for everyone, and I think we can
Yeah.
all agree it's not for everyone. But devoting some of that time, it does it gives it puts you in situations where you wouldn't normally be in, as far as flying and staying in different hotels and really
Yeah.
living it up.
Yeah, it's a serious hobby for me, and I have fun
Hmm
with it. I know a lot of, say, retired individuals who will play golf a lot. Maybe they'll sit at home, they'll watch TV, and they're not making much off of that. Maybe
hmm
they're having fun. It's entertainment. It's something to do. But with this, I think there's the entertainment, something to do, experience, value that's generated. There's just so much in this that's alluring to me. And as someone said, yes, it does have many parallels with gambling and poker. So that's definitely a big draw for me. It's been really nice to try to figure this all out. And as I started, I made mistakes, and
hmm
I would have done things differently knowing what I know now. But I think I'm on the right track and getting better at this game for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Thanks to communities and a lot of people out there, including some in the chat and in this community. So I'm definitely grateful for that.
Yeah, cool. So poker, what's your game?
Yeah. Oh, Texas Hold'em.
Oh, Texas Hold'em. Is no limit, or are we doing?
Yeah, no limit. Yeah, I
Okay,
play the low to mid stakes games, so the 1-2, 1-3, and 2-5
okay,
games.
okay. All right. No tournaments or anything.
No, no, I've had some free entries over time and I've won some from that, but that's not my focus. The idea of sitting at a table that you have to be at the table for like 8 to 10 hours in a day and doing it
Hmm
3 days in a row is definitely not appealing at this point in my life. It
Yeah.
really, really never was even years ago. There's a lot more variance in that. So, I don't like being stuck on a schedule. I like having that freedom of my schedule. So, I
Yeah.
try to just play cash games as I can that make sense for me. And with the hobby, it's been really wonderful to go to Atlantic City almost every week and have the reduced room rates, a lot of comps, a lot of opportunities. The statuses have been wonderful.
hmm
Just on the diamond, just on the diamond status with Caesars, easily saving $90 almost every trip I make down there because I'm not paying the resort fees. And at that point, it might be too cost prohibitive to spend like $80, $100 a night. Like, it gets kind of close at that point. But
Yeah.
being able to have these $25, $30 room rates is really wonderful. What an opportunity that is. So it's really helped the poker play, and a lot of deals or stops that might be on the way to Atlantic City as well. I
Mm.
find pretty valuable.
Okay. All right. So Supreme Deals has a question about manufacturer spending. He's asking me, but I'm going to ask you first, and then I'll
Yeah,
give you
so
my input.
some reselling I've engaged in, like the U.S.
Mm.
Mint comes out
So
with limited
what are your
edition.
thoughts on it, though? I guess that's what this question is.
Um, Thoughts on it? Well, I think it can be helpful for reaching sign-up bonuses on cards,
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot of return from categories, and getting in a lot of spend. So I think that can be really helpful. Obviously, it can put you in a bad position with credit card issuers, banks. It takes some kind of organization. In many cases, you're having to float funds. Things can go wrong. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart. And
Mm-hmm.
if you would engage in any kind of reselling or any kind of manufacturer spending, I would highly recommend starting extremely small with
Mm-hmm.
it, to not be just guns a blazing and all of a sudden like something went wrong or you lost something and now you're out hundreds of dollars. So that
Yeah.
can be a dangerous situation to get in.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of it. I just I like to. Well, you guys all know I'm very conservative with credit cards and stuff like that, and um, there there are people that do manufacturer spending and they're successful doing it. It's just not for me. It really isn't. I don't want to. I want to, and when I get cards as far as sign up bonuses, I need to make sure that I can whatever the sign up bonus is going to be, $3,000 within the first 3 months. I want to make sure that I can do that without having to do any type of manufactured spending. That's just the way that I do things. I don't want to raise red flags when it comes to the credit card companies, and I'm not saying that all manufacturer spending is going to do that, but I don't want to be in a situation where that could potentially happen, where now I'm losing all the points just because, and I'm messing up a relationship with a bank because I wanted to, try to, you know, fudge the numbers a little bit so I can get some extra sign up points. So, yeah, that's just my take.
Yeah.
We're all different when it comes down to it. Do it at your own risk, but that's just not something that I'm
Yeah. And there are
comfortable.
pretty good methods that are, I think, well above the water, like using the payment service Plastic,
Mm-hmm.
Plastiq. Some people call it Plastique, but I'm in the plastic camp. To use your
Yeah,
credit card to pay things that do not normally take credit card payments,
yeah,
like rent, like utilities, taxes. A lot of people report paying their taxes using the IRS portal, paying a maybe 1.82% fee, and then getting great sign up bonuses and rewards on their credit
mm-hmm.
card. And that's the same thing with Plastic, that you might have to pay a fee to use the service, but if you're getting these really good sign up bonuses, then you're buying points, you're buying perks at an extremely low cost, and that can be
Mm-hmm.
a really good investment. So Plastic can be a very helpful tool that I could recommend. A little bit of
Yeah.
math involved to
To hit
make
the
sure it's
sign up
worth it.
bonus, but only to hit the sign up bonus. After the fact,
Well,
yeah.
and yeah, in the best world, when well, I would really like it to be the case that every card I sign up for, I'm going to keep for a long time, continue using the card. But
Mm-hmm.
at some point, I think you run out of cards that are like that, where it doesn't make sense to pay that annual fee in year two, and maybe you
Yeah.
cancel, maybe you downgrade, maybe you product change. So I would like for cards to be keeper cards, but I don't think that everyone is going to be, or things change, right? It seems like it's really good to keep, but then, oh, well, this benefit didn't really work. I didn't get to use this. Someone didn't honor it. So it might not make sense to use that card in year two, or a
Mm-hmm.
better card comes out and I start using that one instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Lyndon's got a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Lyndon. Really appreciate it. And let's see. I got Dwayne available days now. I'm closer to getting the 6 channel live stream together. Everyone hit the like button. Yes, everyone hit the like button. So just so you guys know, and Lyndon, how to get an 800 credit score. He's got a YouTube channel. So you guys want to check him out. Just click the 3 little dots. It'll take you over to his channel. and then subscribe to his channel, and then go back to his channel after our live stream and check out his content. So if you're interested in improving your credit, which most of us probably are, we're all in the kind of the same boat here. We're trying to get credit cards, and so you should always be trying to increase that credit score. So go over to his channel, check it out. We will be doing a 6-panel live discussion coming up in the near future. So once we get that set up, we're going to promote it out to everyone, so you guys will all know about it. And we'll have that going. It's going to be on how to get an 800 credit score. It's going to be on his channel. So,
Yeah.
all right.
There was another question too. Someone asked what is in my wallet at the moment.
Yes,
So
interesting.
I hit the high spend goal on my Amex Aspire card. So I got the free night certificate for the upcoming trip to Hawaii, as I was looking for more volume, more cards to use with a lot of the larger purchases that I make. So I hit the Aspire spend goal for the year. So
Okay.
now I'm using the Delta Business Platinum to hit the high spend goals on that, to get the mileage boosts, to get the status boosts,
Okay.
and also the Blue Business Plus to get 2 times MR on all purchases.
Okay.
And the next application should be in January, but the Amex Plum might slip into my wallet in coming months, as the fourth quarter, I think, should be very good for reselling, right? A lot
Okay.
of good holiday deals are going to come about. So
Yeah.
we'll see. And I think Darren might be in the Plum Club in the chat to swap links for signing up and getting the referral bonuses as well from other cards. So that could be a bonus like 15, 20 KMR atop the Plum return of a whopping total of $600 for 30K in spend and 1.5% cash back on all purchases. But I'm looking for another project, and the Plum is inevitable, I think. It really,
Okay.
really is.
So how many cards do you have in your wallet? I think I missed. Did you?
Right now it's Delta, Blue Business Plus, and oh yeah, the other cards, of course. Yeah, I use the American Express Business Gold for the 4X
Okay.
dining, and I use the Chase Sapphire Preferred for 2X travel. I have the City Double Cash for 2%. That's worth a little bit more if used for the thank you points, as you can now convert the City Double Cash to thank you points and use it with the Premier card and get even more value from that. And I have a very old card, the Bank of America AAA membership rewards, that gives 2% at grocery stores. But if you use the points and convert them to AAA vouchers, you get a 40% bonus. So the AAA card is 2.8% back at groceries, as I could use the AAA vouchers to pay my auto insurance.
Okay. Okay.
Card
Wow.
you don't hear much about. The sign up bonus is really weak. I think it's like 150 or 200, but I had that card for a while before I knew anything about this space.
Okay.
And now
Cool.
it's come back from the dead. 2.8 at grocery and drugstores.
Yeah. So we got Flashpoint Capital in the building. What's going on, Jason? So Flashpoint Capital, he's got a YouTube channel. Check his channel out. Go over there, hit the three little dots. Go over, subscribe to his channel. He'll be on with me tomorrow, Flash and Tech show at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So let's see here. Okay, we just move through. Any other questions, guys? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you guys have questions for Justin. And I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. It's I know it was kind of a last minute thing. I put it out there, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on. What are your plans? When are you leaving? Are you leaving tomorrow or?
Yeah, I'm going to leave tomorrow, so I'll take it easy, get some extra rest before the flights, and I'll be back in the Philadelphia area in the evening. So instead of driving home the 2.5 hours or so from Philly, I'm just going to stay at a Hyatt near the airport, and then after that, head home. And I'll be moving to the Philadelphia area in November. So I'll be even
Oh,
closer to the airport, closer to Atlantic City, and closer to more casinos.
well, there's a lot of casinos out west there, so
Oh yeah, yeah. There's also the Amex benefit on my Business Platinum to use a WeWork location. So
oh.
I might be able to use WeWork in Philadelphia before WeWork goes bankrupt and or that WeWork
Okay, so why do you
closes.
think they're gonna go
Uh,
bankrupt? I'm interested to hear
oh,
your your
it
input.
doesn't look good.
It
I mean, I
doesn't.
haven't looked into it too much, but it seems like there was all this venture capital money,
Uh-huh.
and now they're just like losing millions of dollars.
Yeah, I just saw a
So
commercial on WeWork, and it seems cool, but yeah, I guess it is too good to be true. It's not really.
Yeah, how are they making money?
Yeah.
It was interesting as related to something that someone else said from Chicago seminars about status. They were saying that to be skeptical of status in that the program might offer you lifetime status, but the program might not be around for your whole lifetime.
Exactly. Yeah, lifetime. Yeah, just like the lifetime warranties on,
Oh yeah,
products, and
yeah,
they go
yeah.
out of business, and you're stuck with the product that.
You returned that VHS to Blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
You got
Let's see. Okay, Nate and Jess, I have a question about the Bonvoy business card, 100,000 sign up offer,
oh,
anniversary night. Wait, what is this? More
yeah.
question?
I think the Bonvoy business, if it has that 100K at the moment, I think that's one of the best at the moment with increased offers. I think about Amex and that you can only get these sign up bonuses once per lifetime in most situations. So
Hmm.
my plan with Amex has been to specifically get the cards that have increased offers. So that led me to get the Marriott Bonvoy Business. I got the Delta Business Platinum, figured that I would find a good use for the points in the future. And I did. I transferred the Marriott points to United. Although I don't think I'll keep the card for a second year, it's not seeming to make sense, especially given all of the poor customer service experiences I've heard from people at Marriott properties. I've just tended to stay away from that. Although your mileage may vary, I've seen that the Amex King has had really good Marriott opportunities, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem to make sense for me to pay the annual fee to get the certificate, which is like a $99, and I'm not really getting much of anything else from the card. I could cancel that and get a different card in its space and get a sign up bonus rather than a card doing nothing for me for about 11 months. That doesn't seem to make sense to keep it for me in year two.
Yeah. So what was that transfer? What did you get? You transferred 100,000? Did you transfer all your points, or?
I transferred all of my Bonvoy. I had about 120,000, so I
Mhm.
did two transfers of 60,000. It's my understanding that if you do a transfer of 60,000, you get bonus in the transfer. If you do just 120 at one time, you don't get a second bonus. You would only get one bonus. So 60,000 is the optimal
I see.
space to transfer two transactions of 60,000 transferred.
Okay. It's not 1-to-1 though,
So that
right? With United?
no,
But
I don't believe so.
1-to-3, 3-to-1,
I,
1
I
to 3. I don't even know what it is, but
I don't know offhand, but someone in the chat might have that. But it almost fully funded the round trip flight to Greece. I had to transfer some UR to top it off,
okay.
and I already had some existing United miles,
Mhm.
so that was really nice. That was a great trip to Athens. I thought the airport lounges were really really good, and it was obvious where the lounges were. There were signs in the airport that pointed to the lounges, whereas I'm in the States and I'm looking around, it's unclear about where the lounges are. It's like you look at priority pass, like, oh, it's between this or that gate. But in Europe, I saw a lot of signs just directly pointing to the lounges, so that was really nice to see.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I mean, I mean that's very true. Like in the U.S., it's ridiculous as far as how our lounge setup is. Um, did I just flip you off the screen? Let me see here. I think maybe
Uh,
you're no longer on our screen. Let me.
I think Darren is suggesting that the Amex King have some kids so that he could sign the kids up for credit cards and then get even more.
Okay. Let's see. Where did I? There you go. Let's see.
Yeah,
Hopefully
so
you'll.
the Amex King is saying he's had a better experience with Marriott than Hilton. So yeah, it could be a your mileage may vary situation for sure. I've seen a lot of success that he's had.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Go ahead and put it in the
There
chat.
it is. There it is.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just clicked the little button and it's gone. I'm not using my regular setup, guys. I don't know what's going on. I have to figure everything out. I'm gonna start working on some stuff after the show. But yeah, things aren't working the
There
way
was
they
also
normally do.
talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Some sports fans in the chat as well. There was also talk about how you can get even more value from points and miles attending sports events during really, really busy times. Someone talked about attending a World Cup event, and the cash prices of the hotels were sky high, but the points rates stayed the same. So he was able to get wonderful value staying at hotels during major sporting events. And
Mm,
I've seen that a lot where you could see the cash rates just really, really fluctuate on certain weekends, but the points rates stay the same. And that's really great. Even I stayed in Atlantic City on the 4th of July and I used Hyatt points to fund the stay, and it was still 5,000 points for Hyatt Place. Didn't dramatically go up to 15K. So that's one thing. You got like New Year's happening. You could look at all the New York City prices, the cash rates. I'm sure they're going to go sky high, but the points will remain the same in many properties. I'm confident of that.
yeah, yeah. They're asking what's in my cup. What alcohol is in this cup? It's
Oh, what's in the
Diet
mug?
Pepsi. It's Diet Pepsi. And yeah, Chick-fil-A is closed today, but I like using these cups. I don't know why. The little foam cups. Anyway, let's see. We had a question. Oh, so Darren is saying it's 3-1. Yeah. So if you're transferring your Marriott points over, three Marriott points for 1 point on United. So how that transfer goes. Did you fly economy when you went to Greece?
Yes, and I don't think I'll fly economy again for international travel. I was just extremely uncomfortable
Yeah,
towards the end of the flight. I was just like in and out of sleeping. My body was really stiff. I was
it's
walking
tough.
around and leaving, yeah, feeling a little bit nauseous. So my previous thought was I would just save points for more flights and more redemptions.
Hmm.
But I realize now that since I have a lot of points and more points are coming in, that it will be a luxury to be able to travel in the business class and first class, and I won't feel physically uncomfortable because
Yeah.
of it. So I think that's a good trade-off.
The way that I do it usually, if I can't afford to do round trip business class or first class, I'll do the business class or first class on the way back because that's usually the worst flight. On the way up, you're excited about getting there and everything, and I'll try to do a red eye on the way up. That way, I could pretty much sleep through anything because I'll be
Oh, there
tired
you go.
anyway. Yeah, that's just kind of the routine. That's what I did when I went to Paris, and that worked out because it does get. I mean, you have to use a substantial amount of points if you want to fly business class, first class, depending on where you're going. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of how I work it out. But I'm with you, man. That economy flight is tough. I mean,
yeah.
what
It's
is it?
our big first world problem of the day, right? It's that's it.
Was it a 11 hour, 10 hour, 11 hour flight? What was the time on it?
Oh yeah, it can be pretty long, especially if you're on the runway area, the tarmac, a
Yeah.
little bit longer, right? And I plan on going to Hawaii in the first quarter of 2020.
Hmm.
So I plan on flying with miles and smiles in business class for that, as there's a really good city transfer rate for them that I've been reading about in many places. Many people have had success with that booking. Miles and smiles,
Okay. Okay.
Turkish, I believe.
Mm,
That'll be a long flight as
yeah. Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I saw a question here. Name Justice said, I think you should start petitioning. Um, bring Priority Pass back to PF Chang's and Timberlake Steakhouse. I no, no Timberline. I I'm kind of interested in that whole thing. I talked about it a little yesterday. I want to get your input. What do you think about like they're pulling priority? I mean, these restaurants aren't playing with Priority Pass anymore, and I'm wondering why. Like, what's going on? Are they losing money? Like, what's your thought process when it comes to that? Because I think it's interesting, and it might be a precursor to
Oh
something
yeah.
big.
The economics of some of these things, I always wonder like who is funding this? You got like all these card link apps, right? Like, oh, you use Dosh, you use Pay, you get 1% back, 5% back, whatever. But like, how are they making any money on this? And at
Hmm.
some point, like, and there was talk about this at the conference too. Like, there are these venture capitalists, there are people who think they have these great ideas and let's fund this. We'll get the promotion, we'll get the marketing. Who knows? So people throw money at these apps or these programs, and then later on they realize that they're losing money, so
Yeah.
they pull the promotion. And there's the same thing with a lot of gift card deals. There was a gas station in this area, Speedway. There was 1 month where you could buy $100 Best Buy gift card, and you got a $15 gas voucher and also 4,000 Speedway points. that are
Mm.
worth at least four any size coffees. It's like, how are they making money on this at all?
Yeah.
How are they how are they doing it? That's a lot of gas to be giving away. And then all the coffees, of course, are people are redeeming for other things too. People have like 500,000 Speedway points out there. I have a lot, not that many. But yeah, I don't know about the economics of some of these things. Maybe the data, maybe the marketing. It's a loss leader. Like we'll get people in the door to buy Visa gift cards, and maybe you'll pick up some paper towels on your way. Like I don't know. I'm not sure about this.
Yeah.
Breakage is also a thing. Like people will buy gift cards and then lose them, forget about them, not use them. So
Mm.
maybe there's some winning in that, but
Yeah.
ultimately these things won't last forever, right? And
Yeah.
I'm very bullish on using the benefits, getting the good offers when I can. Like with all this casino status matching, the Ocean was giving away maybe 150 in free play, 2 free nights. Now they're giving nothing. Hard Rock was giving 125, 150 as far as I remember, and now some people are saying it's down to 50. They've also been stricter about giving away the rooms, as I've gone with some friends, and they say, oh, you need a few days to process in the system, and then you can get the rooms. Whereas when I went before and did the status matching, I was able to get the room on the same day. So make hay while the sun shines, right? Don't just sit around waiting and say, oh, I'm going to wait like 6 months from now and then get the status or do that, because who knows? Like all over Atlantic City, the Caesars property, Harrah's, it says, oh, status match and have status until January. And some people are sitting around waiting until February, and maybe I can match in February, but maybe not. And maybe you've missed out on 7 months and you never got that at all. So I like just going at offers when I see them because they usually go away, right? They're
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
lifetime offers, right? And even the
If
lifetime offers are.
yeah, if they're successful, if they're good ones, like and every time I've only been to PF Chang's twice at LAX, but both times that I went, there were people. Everyone, not everyone, but a lot of the people were using Priority Pass. And so I think it's one of those things they want to be able to promote that they have Priority Pass, but I think if too many people jump on board and they're using it, then they're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah,
we
are
don't
people
want
like
this.
skip lagging to get PF Chang's? Like, oh, well, I'm
Yeah.
going to stop here and then go to I don't know, another state, and then they just leave the airport
Or
just to get their PF
you
Chang.
don't even have to. You don't even have all you need. Like this is how bad it was. And I thought about this on the way back, but I couldn't do it because I checked my luggage. But if I had carry-on luggage, all I needed to do is walk right into PF Chang's,
Oh, not
and
even a boarding pass.
yeah, you don't need a
Ooh.
boarding pass. So yeah, and maybe that's another thing. Maybe a lot of people were doing that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Centurion
interesting.
Lounge, they crack down too, right?
Yeah, they
Centurion Lounge is like you just bring like 5 people in or bring anyone in or whatever. It's like no,
yeah
can't have that. Now it's too crowded.
they put
Oh yes, and the Speedway gift cards did end early, and sadly this month or maybe last it was buy a $50 Uber card and you get Tostitos and Mountain Dew. So they really cut back on what they were giving away. That's
yeah.
certainly not worth $15
Or
in
maybe,
gas.
yeah, maybe
It's not going to get you out there.
it was just a way to promote it, get people interested in it, and then they pull back on it, kind of like what they do with a lot of these different sign up bonuses and stuff like that. So, all
Yeah.
right. Any other questions, guys? We'll wait about 2 more minutes, and let us know when we can see you on your channel, Justin. And what are your
Oh,
plans in the
thanks.
next couple
Yes.
of weeks?
Yeah, after Chicago, I have a few days home before the next Atlantic City trip. So I'm hoping to produce some more content for the podcast, some more episodes. Darren in the chat, I'm hoping to record with him. I have a medical doctor friend who wants to come on and talk about travel, jet lag, and how to make the most of your travel.
Ooh,
I have
that'd be a
other
good one.
content creators lined up who want to chat, and the My Vegas video will definitely come in time. So eager to release some of that content.
Okay, okay. All right, and I know I promised that I'm gonna come on your podcast if I'm still if you still want me
Yeah.
there, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know I said when I came back,
Yeah, we'll record for that.
yeah, so I'm back
The
and
tech issues for tech.
yeah. Tech issues or tech exactly.
Oh, we have a is a question on my credit card or my credit score question. Did you say you've been building credit for 10 years? If so, is your credit score in the 800s? I remember having a credit card when I was in the ninth or 10th grade, actually, where I wanted to make an online purchase. So I was like, okay, I need a card. So I had that. And from there, I had other products like the Quicksilver, the Double Cash. And back then, I didn't know much about this. And I got a mail offer or I saw an advertisement, and oh, okay, I'll sign up for this. I had the Bank of America card, as I mentioned. It had an introductory 0% APR and the sign up bonus. I thought that was great. Over time, I learned about the Saver card that had a $500 sign up bonus and that I could fund a PNC checking account with the Saver card. So I got that. And from there, I got so many more. The credit score has fluctuated. It's mainly been in the high 700s. The inquiries take a bit of a hit. Now it's back to the high 700s again. Some utilization up and down, but who really cares? That was one thing at the conference too. Like, why do you care about a perfect credit score? What are you doing with a credit score that's over 800? Is it really worth it? What are you giving up if you're trying to maintain that score? Like, it can be one thing if you're looking to get a mortgage, an auto loan, something like that, where they might be more concerned about higher scores or recent inquiries. But as far as I'm concerned, I want to use credit to my advantage rather than just having something sitting passively. And
Mm.
for what? So I'm trying to make the most I can out of the credit score and improve my situation and help others in the process.
Yeah, you're going to get the same interest rates with a high 7 and an 800. You're going to get the same. You're not. It's not going to.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. So yeah, hitting that 800 is or trying to get over 800 is a target. But if you fall short, you're still good. If you're at a high 7, you're still in a good place. So.
Yeah, it's like significant diminishing returns, right? Obviously, it'll be much dramatic having a 600 versus a 700 credit score,
Mm.
650, 700 even. But at a certain point, like once you get like what, 735, even 750, you could probably get any card as long as you're within bank rules and you haven't had too many open accounts recently.
Yeah, I got the Chase Sapphire Reserve when I was at 730. Now I'm at about 770. So
Yeah, and it goes up. There, yeah,
yeah.
there you go. As we're responsible with our credit, we're making payments on time, we're getting more credit, our score goes up over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and take off. I really appreciate Justin. I really appreciate you coming by, like I said. And I'm glad you had a nice conference there. Did
Yeah,
they?
thanks.
Now, I know I read because I was looking at the info and stuff before going. Were they really strict on the recording stuff and all that? 'Cause they did
I
mention
did
that.
not see any like videotaping going
Mm-hmm.
on, so I don't know if someone really
Okay.
challenged it.
Okay.
But as far as the photographs are concerned, there were some. And
Okay.
some people asked the speaker if it was okay to take a photograph. And I was live tweeting the event. So you can go to hashtag Chicago Seminars and find some of the information.
Okay.
I asked the organizer if it was okay to live tweet the event. And he said, sure. So I went ahead and did that. So
Okay. So you have to
I
excuse me
would,
because I'm not that old, but I still what is live? Just live tweeting is just tweeting while you're listening or what?
yeah, yeah. I was listening to the talks, the presentations, and I was at the event. So it's kind of like live reporting, but
Live
it's just
report. Okay, I
live
got
tweeting,
it.
just sharing snippets of what's going on or something someone else said or my
Okay,
general thoughts about what was happening at the moment so
got
people
it,
could
got it, got it.
do it
Okay.
live and
So you're just doing
tune in
tweet. You're
live.
just
There's an
tweeting though. You're
archive.
not like shooting out pictures and video and stuff like that. Or
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
doing?
didn't shoot out any pictures
Okay.
and video. No, I wanted to be respectful of that policy for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. All right, guys. So thank you guys all for stopping by. We'll be back on tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and
Yeah,
we'll be
I
talking.
I
Go ahead.
I guess Tech will meet at some point. And next time you won't be like right back from a Columbia trip because I didn't find out about this until maybe like 2 months ago or so. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll have more advance. Next year, actually, it will be October 16th through the 18th.
Oh, okay.
So that's a wonderful opportunity to use 25,000 ultimate rewards or Hyatt points
Mm-hmm.
and come out to Hyatt Place. Say no to Hyatt
Mm-hmm.
Regency when you could just use fewer points and
Yeah.
still be at a nice property as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have it on my calendar next year. Actually, I was doing a little more research and I saw that there's some other events that'll be. I think there's one in or a couple in June. of next year, so I'm going to be looking into those too. But I do want to get out to these different events. It just didn't work out as far as Columbia and all that. So
Yep.
that's why I didn't do it. But okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take off. I'll be back on with Jason tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Justin, thank you again. And
All
do you
right.
have
Thank you.
Instagram or
Thanks for having
anything?
me on. Thanks to the chat. Oh, what's that?
You have Instagram, or you just
It cut out. It cut out a second there.
do you have Instagram?
Oh, yes.
Instagram.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
on Instagram. You could just search for Justin Vacula. That's
Okay.
Vacula. And Twitter is at HG Travel Podcast, Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast, HG Travel Podcast.
Okay, cool. All right. Just wanted to get all your stuff out there. And I will put the links in the description so you guys will be able to check that out if you're watching on the rebroadcast. All right. Go get your Olive Garden, guys. All right. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.
Have a good one. Thanks.